Hi there, welcome back. So in today's video, we're going to use this lovely wooden board slash tray. I think it's more of a tray. And everything that we use in our videos, as usual, will be listed in the description box with links or, advice on where you can purchase it from. So we're going to also use the Polar White Vista pigment for resin. We're going to use these lovely inks as well. Gorgeous colours. So we've got a greenish blue, a medium coloured blue and more of a navy blue. Guesses in the comments, pause the video, let me know what you think we're going to do. There's some little mini shells here, tiny little miniature shells, they're gorgeous. You'll have seen us use those in the previous video that we did for a reed diffuser and a soap dispenser. Also using this pigment. Now this is a custom-made pigment made by me. You probably see my hand there on the right hand side of the screen. I promise I'm not going anywhere near the resin because obviously I've not got gloves on. Wayne is doing the demo part. He does have gloves. He also has a respirator on, and so do I at this point. Don't forget, look after your health whilst using resin. Make sure that you do wear the respirator mask, you do wear gloves, and you do work in a well ventilated room. So here we're still using Resin Pro resin. It's quite good. We're almost out of it actually. Wayne's just mixed some up. It's a 1-to-1 mixing ratio and it's pretty clear. Now this is made from glitter, mica powder and some acrylic paint. And he's just mixing a small amount. Obviously this has been sped up. He doesn't mix quite that quickly. Goodness. So at a speed of about 1,000 times faster than usual. You've just seen him mixing it up to see if it produces the colour he wants. Now, it's not coming up very on camera, but it is quite good to replicate sand. So look at this beautiful blue ink. It's just going to drop some into the resin. Look at that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, possibly 6 or 7 drops there, I think, went in. Look at how that, I just love the way it mixes in with the resin. So here we are, he's just stirring it in, mixing it up, making sure it's thoroughly mixed so the colour is completely blended into the clear resin. Look at that, crystal clear. Lovely. So I think he's just adding a little bit of this more greenish blue tinge to this one. And mixing that one up. So you get, oh, look at that, it's beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous, that colour. That's more of, I would say, a greenish blue. Bordering on sort of, the greenish blue turquoise that you can get. Or teal even, some people call it teal. And then we have a much more deeper, darker coloured blue. Because obviously, if you've guessed that we're going to do a sea, like an oceanscape, then you'd be right. And obviously, not all water is the same colour that you see in the ocean. Hopefully it's nice and blue or bluey green and not, brown. Yeah. Reminds me of sea in the Mediterranean when we've been on holidays out to the Mediterranean, which feels like ages ago now. Currently here in the UK, it's pretty cold. We've had a little bit of snow. What's the weather like where you are? If you're watching in America, I expect it's quite nice and warm, depending on which side of the coast you're on. Right, there we go. He's mixed that one up. That one's beautiful. Look how deep that blue is. Now, I would call that a royal blue. Some people would, different names for different coloured blues. So just pouring onto the tray the resin. Now, what he did do is he left it a good 10 to 15 minutes before he used the resin. So the resin's nice and thick. Can you see it's not actually moving around very much at all. And this is Wayne's first go at doing a seascape on a flat surface, or doing any seascape really. So this was very much a very steep learning curve for both of us. So there we are. He's just pouring out this first colour of this is the bluey green colour. Look at that. So it's not opaque, this resin. For the water, it's not opaque. The sand colour that represents the beach is. because we've used acrylic paint as a base. Obviously, you don't have to use acrylic paint as a base. You can just use resin pigments if you've got different resin pigments. But it's, you know, it's whatever you've got that you feel will represent the sand. And here we go in with this darker royal blue to fill in the rest of the tray on board. This has got a slight lip all the way up around the edge, so we don't have to worry about anything escaping over the sides. It's quite good. You can use it as a serving tray. This resin as well is food grade safe, so it would be okay to put nibbles and things on if you were going to use it, you know, at parties or when you've got friends around or family events and occasions where you want to put I don't know, some sandwiches, some little cupcakes, something like that. That would be absolutely fine. We would not suggest ever, though, that you sit and eat your dinner off of it or a meal off of it. We would not suggest that. So there we are. He's using a heat tool now. That's what he's using there. Now that manipulates the resin. It moves it round a bit because what we found was we got very much a block colour situation going, which wasn't what we wanted. The thick lined stripes you can see there is actually the wood grain from the wooden tray or board that we're using. I quite like that personally, rather than having the opaque like solid colour, but it's up to you, obviously. You do what you feel happy doing. So now what he's using is the white. And he mixed the white pigment in with some resin. That is quite thick anyway, and this is what he's trying to create here is the crest of the waves as it crashes on the shoreline, on the beach. That's what he's trying to do. Now, shout out here to Mixed Media Girl, because she is the artist that I've seen doing this, and Wayne has seen doing this, and she always gives hints and tips. Her videos are great. She appears quite frequently on Instagram, Facebook Lives, and YouTube, I believe, as well. But she's been very much an inspiration to us to actually try and have a go at doing this. So there we are. He's putting in the second line of where it's just about to the waves coming over, and it's built up, and it's literally the crest of the wave, and it's crashing down into the water and then coming more in towards the shoreline. So that's what we're hoping to create here. And it's also created some little round cells. Don't know if you can see those, but I can see some little tiny round cells, a bit like with acrylic paint pouring. Now, this bit here, we have sped up because I spent quite a bit of time deciding what shells were going to go where and so on. So we've got a mixture of little round flat shells, slightly different colours, and we've got the miniature conch shells, which are a different shape. Now these don't lie completely flat, so the surface of this tray flat currently, but obviously where the shells are, it's not. It is raised to take into account the 3D effect that has putting shells into it. Obviously it's totally up to you if you do this stage or not, but we liked it. We liked the idea of the shells there. So the finished piece, this finished piece, will have 2 or 3 shells raised over the surface of the board. Bear that in mind if you're going to put anything on the board. If you're going to put a cup of tea, mug of coffee, anything like, and use it like a tray to carry that in, that's absolutely fine once it's all completely cured. But just make sure you're not trying to balance it on a shell that's, you know, slightly higher than the surface of the tray. So this is then a good 24 hours later. It's fully cured, and he's decided to put a clear coat, which is a very thin clear coat, over the entire surface. So it's just sealing in all of those shells that he put on the surface of the sand part. I love the effect of those waves. It just complete peace, tranquility, relaxation. Which is everything that I'm currently not feeling, but that's, you know, that's other reasons. So yeah, I'm going to go and look at this finished piece because it's in our craft room currently. And it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult to let this one go, to sell this one, but we will. So he's just zoomed in a bit there. You can see where he's just moving the resin around, making sure he's not pouring too much onto the surface. So you've still got a bit of a lip going around the edge of the tray there, so that you can use it as a tray to carry things if you want to. Yeah, so just using the heat gun there just to move the resin around to the edges of the tray, make sure everything is thoroughly coated and covered before then leaving it to cure for another sort of 12 to 24 hours, and then you'll see the finished piece. There we go, just going around the edges with a silicone tipped brush there, just to make sure there's no bubbles clinging to the edge of the tray. There we go. And here's the final shot. So I hope you think and you agree like we do that this looks absolutely stunning. An absolutely fantastic first attempt at doing a seascape with the wave effect and the shells and the sand. We are uploading on Friday. Hope you'll like that video too. And also on Sunday. Thanks for watching everyone. Take care and goodbye.